So far, you've learned about what to do when you reach the command line, how to figure out who you are, where you are. You learned a little bit about files, how to create them, how to delete them, how to copy them, how to deal with directories, how to move around within the directory structure, how to move things from one place to another, rename them. And you've noticed, I'm sure, that I haven't had to type every single letter that I've wanted to type. And when I've needed to move around within a command, I've been able to do that not just with the back and forward keys, which would have gone one letter at a time, but I can actually skip full words or even a full line. So the reason that you can do that in Bash is because the command line is actually a text editor in and of itself. And that text editor gives you the ability to do some minor text manipulation on a single line. You know, it's kind of strange to think of the command line as a text editor. It's not like I'm gonna type things and more things and hit enter, because obviously that's not going to work. You see that I get all of these errors. But the command line is an editor because everything that I'm writing in the command line can be edited and changed. So let's start off with a really simple editing tool that you can use within Bash. You can go through your command history using the up arrow. So I'm going to go through the up arrow and you'll see that these are the commands that I have done recently in reverse order. You can go back one at a time like that. You can also, so that's backwards, and this is using the down button to go forwards. Backwards, forwards. So I can also find a specific command that I've used. I can hit Control and R, and that gives me the reverse search, reverse I search. All right, now what I want to find is the last time I used the manual command. The last time I used the manual command was man user add. If I hit Control R again, I'll get the time before that I used man. Control R again. It'll give me the time before that, and the time before that, and the time before that, as you see. So you'll see here, this is not the man command, is it? It's searching for man, and man can be found anywhere in here. It's lowercase m-a-n. You'll notice that it didn't figure out that this capital M-A-N was the same thing, right? Okay, Control C is how you quit out of pretty much anything on the command line. So we've just gotten into that mess and we don't actually want to do that. Control C will give us back our command line. Okay, what else can I do? If I go up to a command that I want to change, like say this one, I don't really want to do ls-la, I just want to do ls. I can go back one word at a time using the meta key and B. And I can go forward one word at a time with the meta key and F. And now I can erase what I don't want, and I can hit enter. So now I hear you asking, what is the meta key? Actually, you probably don't have an actual meta key on your keyboard. If you're on a Mac, your command key is the meta key. If you are on a PC, then there are several possibilities for what your meta key may be. Your Windows menu key may be used as the meta key. On my laptop, the Shift and Alt keys held down together are the meta key. On some systems, just the Alt key will be the meta key. There is a way to change what that is in your own Bash settings. You'll learn about that later. But in general, you just have to be aware that when you need to use the meta key on a brand new system you've never worked with before, it may take a little trial and error. Okay, so meta B gives you a cursor back one word. Meta F moves your cursor forward one word. Control A, Control A will move your cursor to the beginning of the line. And my fingers are off to the side and I am not looking at the screen. Moves your cursor to the beginning of the line. Yeah. All right, so I want to get rid of that whole line that I just wrote. I can hit Control U. That is going to cut everything before the cursor. I can use Control A, like we just talked about a moment ago, to get me back to the beginning of a line. And now I can use Control K to cut everything after the cursor. Control K cuts everything after the cursor. Now I'm going to use Control U to get rid of that. There we go. Now, let's say I have a command like this one, and I want to go to the beginning. That was Control A. I want to move forward one word. Whoops. Meta F. There we go. And I want to delete everything before my cursor. I can say Control U, or let's undo that. Oh, shoot, I forgot that I can't do that on this particular machine. That's funny. I did this in an earlier recording. I'm just not even gonna bother to take that out. So Control underscore will undo, but not apparently while you're making a video for a class. There seems to be some sort of a clash between my graphical user interface and my terminal. So let's just Control K, all of that, and get rid of that line. All right, so I can also, let's go back up, and I can cut the last word. Control W takes the last word away. So I can go Control A, I can then go meta forward, and I can Control W, get rid of that pseudo. I still have a space here, so I'm going to hit delete again. And now I'd be able to do that without pseudo. Of course, it wouldn't work, so I'm going to Control U, Control K, and get rid of that line, get rid of everything after the cursor. Control U would have gotten rid of everything before the cursor, but of course I was at the beginning of the line. So Control K cuts everything after the cursor. This entire list is in the document that's attached to this lecture. Practice it, get yourself onto a command line, type a bunch of commands, go up, go down, change your commands, get used to using these Control A, Control E, Meta B, Meta F, Control W, Control U, Control K, Control Y, and Control underscore, because you will find that the more you have to work in the command line, the more grateful you're going to be for these little shortcuts that get you through all the pieces, because you may find yourself writing a bunch of commands that are very, very similar. Maybe you only have to change one word. You can use this quick editing tool to get in there, get to where you need to be, change the word, and be done with it. By the way, this is called Emacs mode. It is possible to switch into another mode called VI mode, or Vi mode, as some people would prefer you to say. And that has a different set of commands for moving around on your command line. All of these control characters are completely different in VI mode. So check the document, learn how to switch between Emacs mode and VI mode, and figure out if you prefer the VI mode commands. But know that Emacs mode is the default on most machines that you're going to meet. So that is the editing tool in the command line, and I will see you in the next class.